everyone, and welcome back to, or welcome to Tinderloss Gaming, and welcome to my very first episode of the Drowned City campaign from Arkham Horror the Living card game. This is episode 1. So I'm not going to do too much of an intro on this one, at this bit, but I'm going to get across to the table because I've got a few things I need to sort of talk about. Right, here we are at the table, and I have an apology to make to some of my subscribers. If those, for people that have seen my coming soon, which was put up a few weeks ago, which was for the Dunnage Legacy campaign, and I actually have recorded the first episode of that with Daisy and Agnes. However, what has happened in the last week or so is a very good friend of mine, Aaron, thank you very much, Aaron, has kindly, via his web store, got me this. He's got me the campaign expansion, The Drowned City. And so, a change of plan. And I apologise, I will go back to Dunnage Legacy. I'm planning, I've got the first episode in the can. So we will be playing that. But I'm sorry, I could not resist getting this bad boy to the table. It's an awesome box, actually. You know, there are going to be spoilers, clearly, in this playthrough. So if you're waiting on your copy of The Drowned City and you don't want to see any of the cards or anything like that, then this isn't the video for you, because I'm going to be playing through the first scenario with a couple of the investigators, the new investigators. But I'm sorry, my yearning to play this has overcome. So a little bit of a pivot, a little bit of a right turn. We will be doing a left turn back to Dunnage Legacy because I've really enjoyed playing the first scenario, actually, and we will go back to it. But we've got this bad boy to play. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a very quick run through of the decks that I've used some online resources for help with. And we'll have a look at the decks and see what we've got, and then we'll start playing the scenario. But I'm going to pause very quickly here. We'll get this off the table, we'll get the deck sorted out, and then we'll come back. All right, see you in like 2 nanoseconds. Right, here we go. We're going to go up with Michael McGlen is our first investigator. Sorry, it's got a green background, so it's a bit dodgy on here. So he's 3 will, 1 intellect, 5 fight, 3 agility, and his reaction is after I spend 1 or more ammo from a firearm asset, gain 1 resource limit once per firearm asset per round. And his elder sign effect is +2. You may place 1 ammo on a firearm asset you control. 9 health, 5 sanity, so pretty strong. There's loads of, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the classes. There's loads and loads of videos previewing these cards online, and I'd suggest you go and have a look at those. I'm not a deck expert. In fact, to pull this deck together, I've used Arkham DB, and there's a really good guy on there, Valentin1331, Valentin VALENTIN 1331, sorry. He's got loads of decks on there, but he's done a whole series of decks for the Drowned City. I've not exactly used the decks that he's put together because they contain some cards I just don't have access to. They're from the sort of standalone investigators and some campaigns that I haven't got. So I've used his guide for the 0 XP deck or for this deck. It's pretty similar. A few changes. There's a particular a couple of things I couldn't fit in, so I've replaced them with other stuff. So I'm a little bit nervous about playing a rogue. It's not a class I've played a lot of, but this is as you'd expect. He's got 4 firearms in his deck. So yeah, he's our fighter. He's the guy that's going to be going around and shooting the bejesus out of hopefully some enemies and stuff that we come across. His signature asset is a viola case. Again, won't go through this in too much detail. It's an accessory slot. And you can have 2 additional hand slots, which can only be used to hold firearms. So we could have 4 firearms out because these are all one-handed, the ones I've got. And then after you play Viola Case, search the top 9 cards of your deck for a firearm asset and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So that's going to be sort of something we're going to be looking for in our opening hand if possible. He's got a weakness, obviously, which is confiscation. Shuffle each firearm asset in your play area into your deck. If no asset was shuffled into your deck by this effect, take 1 damage and shuffle confiscation back into your deck. So all about the firearms. So what we got on the deck, we've got, again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'll put links to the decks that I've used as bases for these decks in the description below, so you can go and have a look. But we've got a liquid courage, which we can heal horror from, comes in with 4 supplies. We've got the Luger PO8, one-handed. We can exhaust it and get +1 attack for this attack, and then we can spend a resource to replenish all ammo on it. Really good. We've got the .41 Derringer, 3 ammo, spend it, gets +2 fight, and if we succeed by 2 or more, it deals +1 damage. We've got the Remington model 1858. I don't think this one was in the deck that was the 0 XP deck. I had to replace something with this. But that's got 2 ammo. Spend an action, fight, you get +1 fight for this attack and it deals +1 damage. When it leaves play, you get to trigger that ability as well, with ignoring its cost. And then we've got the .25 automatic, fast, 4 ammo. We spend an ammo, fight. If the enemy is exhausted, we get +2 fight and deal +1 damage for the attack. We've got Where's the Party? That's a parlay. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a non-elite enemy and spawn it exhausted and engage with you. Draw cards equal to that enemy's combined damage and horror values. Very, very good. We've got the sort of classic lucky cigarette case. After we succeed a skill by test by 2 or more, we can exhaust it to draw a card. We've got contraband, which is choose an asset controlled by an investigator, and we can double the number of ammo or supply tokens on it. We've got an ally in Joey the Rat Vigil. We can spend a resource, choose an item asset from your hand and play it, paying its costs. We've got Robert Zero, the Zero version of Robert Castaigne. We're going to upgrade him as part of our deck upgrade, but he gets you +1 fight. And you can discard a firearm asset that takes up 1 or few hand slots, exhaust him, and then resolve a fight ability on the discarded asset. So once we're out of ammo, we can use him to just do that one last fight. We've got Crack Shot, gives us 3 wild icons as a skill, and we can commit it to a skill test on a firearm or ranged asset. We've got Watch This, which is a skill. We can commit that to tests, and we can put resources on it and have a little bit of a gamble. We've got another skill, Quick Thinking. If we're successful by 2 or more, we can then take an action. We've got Intel Report, which is discover 1 clue at your location, and we've got various things on there, and then we've got 2 unexpected courage, and that is Michael McGlen's deck. Like I say, based on Valentin's 1331 deck lists, they're really comprehensive, so I'd thoroughly recommend going and have a look at those. But that's Michael McGlen. I'm a little bit nervous playing the rogue. I've hardly done it at all, so it'll be interesting to see where this takes me. Right, let's get across to the next investigator, who's Agatha. Right, 2 seconds. Right, next up is Agatha Crane, and we're taking the parapsychologist seeker version. Let's have a look at her card. She is 4 will, 4 intellect, 1 fight, 3 agility. When her turn ends, or when your turn ends, if you sealed, cancelled, or ignored one or more chaos tokens this round, play a spell or insight event from your discard pile. Add that if after that event resolves, remove it from the game. So she is, you know, reoccurring, regurgitating. I can't remember. There's a particular phrase for it. Anyway, it's gone. So she can. It's all about events for her, and her elder sign is +2. You may cancel this token and draw another in its place. If you do, draw 1 card, and she's a fairly respectable 6/8 seeker. Again, I'd suggest there's loads and loads of more in-depth guides on the internet, and certainly YouTube on each of these investigators. So I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail. For this deck, I was following I watch a guy on YouTube called Rather Incoherent. Very, very good and knowledgeable YouTube channel about all things Arkham LCG, well, amongst other things. But he'd done a breakdown of a XP version of Agatha, and he also went through a 0 coster as well. So I sort of was watching that, and again, I've used this deck as a basis. It's not a carbon copy because I don't have access to all of the cards that he was talking about, but it's as close as I can get it with the cards that I've got. I'm worried about playing Michael, but I'm probably more worried about playing Agatha, because really this deck does sort of rely on this card here, which is her signature asset, the Ocula Obscura. Ocula Obscura. 3-cost asset, Agatha Crane deck only. Well, let's put it up so you can have a look. Probably all seen this if you've seen breakdowns. But after you succeed at a skill test, if no tokens are sealed here, seal a non-symbol token revealed during the skill test on the Occult Obscura. Limit once per phase. When you would reveal a token from the Chaos bag, resolve the token sealed here instead, then reuse that token. So her signature move is all based off of this. So really, we want to try and we're going to dig for this as much as we can to get it out. And there's various ways of doing that within the deck. We've got Glimpse the Void as her weakness. We put it into play in her threat area, and the first time you would reveal 1 or more chaos tokens during each skill test, you must reveal 1 additional token and resolve its effects. As an action, you can shuffle it back into your deck. Can't get rid of it, goes back into your deck. Right, so what have we got in this deck? Well, we've got 2 backpacks. That's helping us search the top 6 cards to try and get the asset, which is the Occult. We've got Promise of Power, which has got 4 wild icons on it. And after you commit it, we add a curse token to the bag. But if we can't, then we take 2 horror. We've got Art Student. Again, that's a replacement Art Student, but playing Agnes with Art Student, that's just such a clutch. 2, you get a clue, boom, done. Deduction, again, people playing a lot of Arkham will know deduction, but after we're successful at a skill test, we can get an additional clue. We've got an event, 0 cost, guidance, it's in insight. Choose another investigator at your location who has yet to take his or her turn. That investigator may take an additional turn this round. So hopefully if Michael needs 4 actions to take on a particular big baddie, then we can give him some guidance. We've got higher education, always good for pumping up our intellect and our will. Magnifying glass, +1 intellect when investigating. We've got a Milan in there, Dr. Milan Christopher, standard ally. I don't play Taboo, by the way, so I'm playing all these cards as they are. I don't keep up with the Taboo or anything like that. I play at home for fun, make videos for fun. We've got Burning the Midnight Oil, 0 cost event, investigate. We've got Mouse Mask, which we can get +2 to our intellect or our will when we do offerings. Really good. We've got the Tooth of Etzel, which is you get +1 will and +1 agility when resolving an ability on a treachery card. And after you succeed at a skill test on a treachery, you get to exhaust it and draw a card. We've got Crack the Case, that's an asset. We've got an event, Crack the Case. Fast, play after an investigator discovers the last remaining clue at your location. And then you get total X resources where that's the shroud value. We've got Shortcut, Fast, we can move. We've got 0 cost event, Deep Knowledge. We add 2 curse tokens to the Chaos bag. But then each investigators at your location draw a combined total of 3 cards. We've got Spectral Shield, Fast, Invent, Spell, attached to a player with health and or sanity. And when the attached card takes 1 or more damage or horror, cancel 1 of that damage, and then the owner of Spectral Shield must remove 1 charge from asset they control. If they cannot, then discard Spectral Shield. We've got Eyes of the Dreamer, which is another way of sealing tokens. It comes in with 9 charges. We get to investigate with our head, with our will rather than our intellect. And then before we reveal the Chaos tokens, you may spend up to 3 charges to reveal that many additional Chaos tokens. Choose one of the revealed tokens to resolve and ignore the rest. If you succeed and the chosen token matches an ignored token, discover 1 additional clue at your location. Then we've got 2 perceptions, and then just to fill out the 35 cards in her deck, we've got an emergency cache just in case we need it. So there we go. There's the 2 decks that we're going to be running. I am nervous. Nervous playing these decks. Nervous that to play Drowned City, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Hopefully I don't muck it up. But we'll see. We'll see in a sec when we come back and we start playing through the first scenario. But I'm going to pause for there, get the table set up, and then we'll be back. Cheers. Okay, here we are at the table, nearly set up. So let's read through the prologue. It says April the 15th. Something hasn't seemed quite right for a while. It has been unusually cold. It's been an unusually cold year with heavy snow, rain and fog, keeping the New England sky in a state of perpetual melancholy. A restive nervousness seems to have crept into all aspects of domestic life. Small arguments on street corners come to blows. Muffled shouts and screams resound behind closed doors. A not insignificant number of students have simply dropped out of attending classes at Miskatonic University. The people of Ireland feel it in their bones. Something is different. Something feels wrong. Proceed to one last job. One last job. You suppress a shiver in the cool spring air as you wait under a flickering street lamp. Tonight is the last night of your employ under Randall Tillinghast, a local curio dealer. The antiquarian's latest shipment from New Orleans has gone missing, and he has tasked you with its recovery. This is just the latest in a string of risky and often illicit errands for the cunning old man. Tonight's job should pay almost enough to satisfy the rest of your debt to Tillinghast. Both of your informants arrive on time. Ruby Standish, infamous jewel thief, approaches with a knowing smirk, and the plucky reporter Andy Van Northwick comes soon after. Tillinghast seems to have drawn the most eclectic mix of specialists for his favours. Between Ruby and Andy's accounts, she pieced together a rough idea of the shipment's location. I tracked it from the warehouse in Southside to a few black market dealers in Rivertown. No luck, I'm afraid, Ruby says. Andy takes off his hat and wipes his brow. I nearly bought it in a firefight downtown. Sounds like the Sheldons and the O'Banions are at it again. The 2 gangs are in the midst of another turf war, something about a load of missing hooch. It's possible the missing shipment was scooped up with the gang's actual mark. There's a bit there about if we're playing as Wendy Adams, we're not. You shiver as a chill. You shiver as a chill wind stirs the air. Ruby smiles rakishly. What do you say to a little wager? Double or nothing? The first one to score the shipment gets it all. I hope you're ready to lose, she smirks. Before you can reply, she's already melted into the shadows. So, scenario setup. We've got gather all cards from the following encountered sets. One last job, dreams, chilling cold, locked doors, the midnight masks, rats and striking fear. When gathering the Midnight Masks encounter set, only gather the location cards. Do not gather the act, agendas or treacheries from this set. So we're just using the locations. Remove the following locations from the game. St Mary's Hospital, Southside, Graveyard, Your House and one of the 2 copies of Downtown at random. Put each remaining location into play according to the location placement diagram on page 5. What we've done here. Each investigator begins at Tillinghast Astoria. Construct the act deck of one of 2 copies of Act 1, Questioning Gangs, which is what I've done. We chose one at random. Remove the other copy from the play. Set each copy of Act 2 and Act 3 outside of play, which is what I've done. Set the following enemies aside out of play. Sadie Sheldon, Naomi O'Banion and both copies of Gang Enforcer, they're off to one side. Shuffle the remaining encounter cards to build the encounter deck. You are now ready to begin. Oh, I've only waited 8 months to get to this point. Right, standard Tinderloss gaming approach. We shuffle on screen. They have been shuffled vigorously off screen, but we will shuffle them on screen and we will do little cat weasel cut. And that's our encounter deck all sorted. Oh, nearly dropped it. We will do the same with Agatha Crane's deck. Again, it's had a good shuffle off screen, but we will shuffle one on screen just to make sure we are all good. And the now patented and copyrighted cat weasel cut. Paperwork's come through. Michael McGlen, same thing. And cat weasel cut. All right. Michael is going to be our lead investigator for this scenario. I'm using the LCG tokens as per usual. Shout out to them. I'm not sponsored in any way, shape or form, but they, for me, are some of the best bling you can get for the game. And we got the player boards from a company called Strata Strike. I just wanted to make sure I got that right. I got a nice little astronauty sticker. But Strata Strike are these player boards, if anybody's interested in them. Again, not sponsored in any way, shape or form. I bought those out of my hard-earned pocket money. Right, here we go. Let's have a look at Agenda 1A. Agenda 1A says, Arkham Nightlife. The moon casts long shadows that reach across the ground like searching fingers. You've always seen this city as home, but tonight Arkham feels like another place entirely. As a reaction, after the last clue is discovered from an Arkham location, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. One at a time, spawn each criminal enemy discarded this way at the nearest empty location. 7 doom on that. Ooh, okay. And then our random act, questioning the gangs. We have got, you need to find out what happened to Tillinghast's shipment. With the increased gang activity all over Rivertown, you think that checking in with the Sheldons and the O'Banions is the best place to start. This act gets +1 per player clue threshold. So we've got 4 because we've got 2 players. So 4 on this one. As a free action, Spend X clues, parlay, discard an engaged criminal enemy with X remaining health at the location. At your location, place 1 clue from the token pool on this act. Objective: at the end of the round, if the number of the clues on this act equals or exceeds its clue threshold, advanced. Okay, so we've got to move clues, we've got to parlay with criminals, we've got to take them down a little bit, and then use clues to sort of finish them off. Okay, get that. All right, here we go. Let's draw our opening hands. Agatha. Now we're really looking for her signature asset, if at all possible. That would be really nice because she can start sealing tokens. And we're playing on standard, and there are Klaus bags off to one side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards for Agatha. We've got a deep knowledge. We've got a delocked. Ah, here we go. We've got the asset. Brilliant. So that's a definite keep. That's a 3 cost. We've got spectral shield and we've got deduction. I think I'm going to keep that lot. I think I'm going to keep it. Oh, I just realised I need to move things up a little bit. Bear with me. I'll pause it while I do that. Right, that's a bit better. I just realised I'm not going to have enough space for my cards down here. So that's a good opening hand for Agatha. We've got Michael McGlen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got no idea what a good opening hand for Michael looks like. Some assets. So we've got to watch this. Cracks. Not great. No assets. I'm going to bin all 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is it for his mulligan. So what he's got now, hopefully, he's got some fighty stuff. Because that's what Mick is all about. We're going to call him Mick, not Michael. So what have we got? We've got a .25 automatic. Great. We've got a Robert Castaigne. Great. We've got a quick thinking. We've got a Joey the Rat. We've got 2 25 automatics. That is very good. Alrighty. Flip over Tinninghast Astoria. 2 clues per investigator. Oh, sorry, 1 clue per investigator. So it comes in with 2. Shroud of 3. Tinninghast Astoria is connected to the location to the right of it and vice versa. Investigators at this location spend 1 clue per player as a group. In your campaign log, record the investigators discovered an alien language. Okay. So if we could get these 2 clues, we could probably do that straight away, is what I'm thinking. Five. Right, let's go with Agatha first of all. First action is to pay 3. So she's down to 2. To bring in her Ocula Obscura, which is her signature weapon. So after she succeeds at a skill test, if no tokens are sealed here, seal a non-symbol token revealed during this skill test on the Obscura. Okay. Second action is to investigate, which is base of 4. We will play a deduction to make it 5. And we will play a spectral shield to make it 6. 6 versus 3. How is the chaos bag going to be to us today? 6 versus 3, 0. We will seal that onto the ocular. So after you succeed, if no tokens are succeed here, seal a non-symbol, which is 0ism, during this skill test. We've done that. That becomes exhausted, so we can only do it once. No, it doesn't. There's a reaction. It doesn't become exhausted at all. And when we would reveal a token from the chaos bag, resolve the token sealed here instead, then release that token. So we've got that. We've played deduction, which gives us 1 additional clue. So we get 2 clues. 2 clues. That goes to my discard. Those 2 go to my discard pile. And for my last action, I think I'm going to spend those 2 clues to... We discovered an ancient language. Bear with. All right, so that's started us off nicely. We've got our very technologically advanced campaign log, bit of a pen and 2 bits of paper. So we've recorded on here that we've discovered an ancient language. Now at the end of Agatha's turn, which it is, I did seal a token on I did seal a token, simple as that. So I can play a spell or an insight event from my discard pile. So I'm going to pay 1 to play Spectral Shield. Fast, play only during your turn, but it doesn't matter. Attach to a player with health and sanity or location. I'm going to attach it to... well, she's 6 and 8, 9 and 5. I'll attach it to Agatha. When the attached card takes 1 or more damage or horror, cancel 1 of that damage or horror, and then we remove 1 charge from an asset they control. If they cannot, discard Spectral Shield. So we'll see how that goes, but that's out in play. It's not resolved, so after the event resolves, remove it from the game. It's not resolved yet, so once it's resolved, it will be actually removed from the game. That's the way I've read it. Right, Michael. We really want to stick together. I don't really want to split them up because Michael's my gunslinger, Agatha is my clover. So we'll see where that takes us. Got a lot of expensive stuff. Well, first action, we'll spend 4 down to 1 to play his automatic. And that comes in with 4 ammo. I'll just use these for ammo for the time being. I have got some ammo ones kicking about somewhere, but I think they're in a bag. 4 ammo on the 25.25 automatic. That was his first action. I think the 2 actions, I'm going to gain 2 more resources, taking me up to 3. Don't really want to muck about with Michael. So I think we're done. Okay, enemy phase, no enemies in play, clearly. Reset actions, we go to 0 actions. We ready any exhausted cards, don't have to worry about. Each investigator draws a card and gains a resource. So we're going to go on, Agatha's going to go up to 2. Michael's going to go back up to 4. Agatha's going to draw guidance, 0 cost event. Choose another investigator at your location who has not yet taken his or her turn. That investigator may take an additional turn during his or her turn this round. And Michael gets quick thinking. If we're successful by 2 or more, we can then take an action as if it was our turn. Yeah. We go to the mythos phase. We put 1 onto Arkham Nightlife. And then we're going to draw Nick's encounter card. And we're going to get a swarm of rats. Fair enough. Straight in to engage Michael or Mick. And then Agatha is going to get, gang soldier. 2 fight, 2 evade, or 2 health, 2 to evade. Engages with nobody's got aloof or anything like that, so it engages with Agatha. Thinking. There's lots of stuff in play at the moment. I could go first with Agatha because she's got a 0 waiting there for any test. She's 3 agility, 2 there, so she would pass that. She's 1 fight, 2 fight here. She hasn't got any clues at the minute, so she can't do the parlay thing. It has to be an engaged criminal. Yes. I think first things first, first action is to do gang. We're going to evade gang soldier. And we're going to play guidance. So with 3, 4 with guidance. Oculus says when you would reveal a chaos token from the bag, resolve the token sealed here instead, then release the token. So we are currently 4 versus 2. Our 0 makes it a pass. That goes back into the bag. Guidance goes into our discard pile, importantly. And we evade the gang soldier. Second action, Agatha's going to move. Where's she going to move to? North side or the university? Let's come down to Miskatonic University and flip. That's got a victory of 1. That's got 4 clues on it. Third action obviously is going to be to investigate. 4 versus 4. We'll play a deep knowledge for the icon to make it 6. 5 versus 4. Five versus 4 is not great. Uh, 5 versus 4. I don't really want to chuck Milan in. 5 versus 4. +1. We will seal that onto the ocular. We get a clue. And deep knowledge goes into our discard pile. That's the end of her turn. That's the end of her turn. At the end of her turn, she's going to play guidance. Choose another. Your location. Bugger. All right. No, that's fair enough. Just can't do it. Had to go there. But she's going to play deep knowledge, which means we're going to put 2 curse tokens into the bag. But then we're going to draw 3 cards. Bear with me. I just got my curse tokens. Right. Curse tokens. Lovely LCG's tokens. Look at those. They're gorgeous. Give that a good old shake up. And then we draw investigators at your location. Draw a combined total of 3 cards. It's just Agatha, so she's going to draw. That's removed from the game. So I'll put that over there. That's gone. Draw 3 cards. We're going to get a backpack. We're going to get an art student. And we are going to get a burning the midnight oil. Very nice. Okay, that should help with Milan. And that's it for Agatha. Michael. Well, first of all, he's going to fight the swarm of rats. He's a fight of 5. We're not going to commit any cards to it because it's a fight of 1. We will then, when you would reveal a chaos token, resolve it. Oh, okay. It's not Michael. So he's going 5 against 1. Not using his automatic. What are we getting? We get a 0. We're successful. We kill the rat. Second action, he's going to engage the soldier. Do I need to engage them if they're exhausted? Hang on a sec. Right, yeah, no, sorry, I don't need to engage it. So his second action is going to fight the soldier. It's got a fight of 2 against his 5, so we're up 3. We'll play a quick thinking to take me to 6. 6 versus 2. I think that's enough. Six versus 2. The skull is X, where X is the number of criminal enemies in Palais. We've got 1. So we're successful. So it's 5 versus 2. We beat it by 3. Oh, I should have spent I was going to spend my automatic because I need to do the plus damage. So I definitely hit it. So I'll do two damage to it. My apologies, I should have done that. Kills the soldier. Oh, did we really want to kill it? Or should we have parlayed with it? Oh, I'm so used to doing things like that. I can immediately take, you may immediately take an action as if it were your turn. This action does not count towards the number of actions you can take this turn. So for his free action, he's going to move into be with Agatha. Just to help her out a little bit. So that was his second action. So fought the rat, beat it, got my quick thinking. Quick thinking was the fight. And then the second action was to move. So he's got 1 action left. I'm going to pay 4. My third action down to 0 to play Joey the Rat Vigil. I can spend 1 resource, choose an item asset from your hand and play it, paying its cost as a free action. But it gives me 3 health and 2 sanity soak. Or do I want to play a Robert? He gives me +1 fight. No, I'm going to play a Robert instead. Same thing. 4. I'm going to play a Robert. Okay. That's it. Get some clues on Agatha, and then we can start to parlay with any criminals that come out. No enemies on board. So we move to reset our actions. We go back to no actions. We ready any exhausted cards. We don't need to worry about that. Oh, I should have remembered. After you spend 1 or more ammo from a firearm asset, gain 1 resource. Sorry, I'm going to do that. I'm still. This is my very, very first game with these investigators. I've not even played a game offline to see how they were, so I'm going to do that. So that was a reaction. I've got a resource. So then I would get a resource. Agatha's up to 3. Michael's up to 2. We draw a card. Agatha gets a mouse mask. Very nice. And Mick gets a crack shot. Very nice. Okay. We're okay for hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. we move across to the mythos phase. We put 1, 2 of 7, and then we're going to draw mixed card. Mick is going to get a swarm of rats. There we go. Overcoming goes with him. And Agatha is going to get, oh, drawn to darkness. Put drawn to darkness into play in your threat area. Limit 1 per investigator. Your maximum hand size is reduced by 3, so I can only have 5. When your turn hands, if you have no cards in hand, discard drawn to darkness. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our maximum hand size is 8. So drawn to darkness is, oh, that's nasty. Right. We flip over. Oh, you say. Well, first of all, I'm going to pay first action, pay 2 down to 1. I'm going to play an art student. Discover 1 clue at your location. Thank you very much. Can't play Milan yet because obviously art students going to be there for a bit. Second action, she's going to investigate at Miskatonic University. She is 4 versus 4, but we know we've got this lovely +1 on her ocular. So she will do a straightforward test. She's going to keep her cards. So she's going to go 4 versus 4. When you would reveal a token, reveal this one instead. So we reveal the +1, which means we pass. We take that clue. That goes back in the bag. Third action, she's going to investigate again. This time she's going 4 versus 4. We're going to play Burn the Midnight Oil to investigate. When this action begins, gain 2 resources, so she's going to go up to 3. So 5 versus 4. 5 versus 4. Has Mick got anything he can chuck in? Yeah, he has actually. He's got a quick thinking. So it's 6 versus 4. I think that's it. I don't want to play a Milan and I don't want to play a mouse mask. So we're going to go 6 versus 4. I've got to be successful by 2 or more. 6 versus 4. 7 versus 4 takes me to -1. 7 versus 4 takes me to -1. Yeah, I think I'm going to chuck a Joey the rat. We've got a Robert in play, so that's not too bad. So we're now at 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. That's a skull, which is a criminal. There is no criminals in play at the moment. We've only got a swarm of rats. So -1, that takes us to 6 versus 4. We're successful. That comes into my discard pile. We get the last clue. Quick thinking, if this skill test is successful by 2 or more after a result resolves, you may immediately take an action as if it was your turn. This action does not count towards the number of actions. So Mick is going to do a fight action. Actually, I can't seal a non-symbol. It's a non-symbol token. So I haven't cancelled or sealed a token there. That's, never mind. So, but Mick's going to take his free fight action. 5 versus 1. Ooh, -2, -4 instead of there a criminal enemy at your location. There isn't. So that's -2. So we still kill the swarm of rats. And that is the end of Agatha's turn. We didn't, unfortunately, manage to seal or cancel a token there. Right, Michael. What are you doing, Michael? He really wants to stay with Agatha. We could be burning through stuff here. So I think first action, or first 2 actions, is to gain 2 resources. It's up to 4. Third action is to play his second 0.25 automatic. Comes in with 4 resources on it. So he's got his crack shot. So that's 4 down to 0. Alrighty. That's it for Mick. Actually, might as well just keep these ready because they're going to ready in the second. Enemies in play? None. So we go to reset our actions. Ready any exhausted cards? We've got none. Gain a resource. Agatha's up to 4. Mick's up to 1. We draw a card. Agatha's going to get a Tooth of Etzel. Etzli. We're going to get +1 will and +1 agility while resolving an ability on a treachery card. And after you succeed at a skill test while resolving an ability on a treachery card, exhaust it to draw a card. We are now a limit of 5 because of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all good. Mick draws a card. He's going to get intel report. Oh, discover 1 new clue at your location. Oh, okay. It's not too bad. We go to the mythos phase. We put 1 doom, 3 of 7. Not really making a lot of headway here at the minute. Me don't thinks. And then we're going to draw Mick's first. Mickey's going to get, oh, there we go, Crypt Chill. Ugh. A will of 4. A will of 4. I'm 3. I'm 3. I don't really want to discard. I don't want to discard a 0.25. So Agatha's going to help him out and put in the tooth and the mouse 2 on there. So it's now 5 versus 4. Ugh. That's not great. 5 versus 4 is not great. Hey, Elder Sign. Place an ammo on a firearm asset you control. We get +2. So let's chuck a cheeky little ammo back onto the oh, what am I doing here? Got the wrong type. So it's back up to 4. Crypt Chill, don't like you. Those are gone. It did save us our automatic. We're drawing Agatha's card. Frozen in Fear, some classics. Put it into your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, it costs you an additional action. Ooh. We didn't discard, we can't discard Drawn to Darkness because we've still got 2 cards in our hand. Okay. Back to the investigators. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to spend 2 actions because of Frozen in Fear to move. Agatha's going to move up to north side. And we're going to get 2 clues per player. Spend 5 resources, gain 2 clues from the token pool. Ooh. I think I'm thinking about the longer game now. And so I am going to pay 4 to replace the art student who's done an outstanding job with a Milan Christopher. And that's my 3rd action. Agatha done. Mick is going to wander up to be with Agatha. Oh, I should have tested here. I'll do this first of all. I'll finish Mick off first of all. He's going to... Second action, he's going to gain a resource. Third action, he's going to play intel support for 2. And discover a clue. I'm not going to wait for... I'm going to have to get another 2 resources to get the 2 clues. But he's going to do 1 just to get him a clue. That's it. We didn't manage to seal any tokens there for Agatha, unfortunately, because it didn't really do a lot. Now, at the end of her turn, we need to test Will 3 for Frozen in Fear. We've still got a card in hand for Drawn to Darkness. So, Will 3. Can't play that. So, 4 from us, 3 for that. 4 versus 3. Elder sign, +2. You may cancel this token and draw another in its place. If you do, draw a card. Nope. No, not going to do that. I might have been tempted, but I want to get rid of Frozen in Fear because that's a complete nut job of a card. All right. No enemies in play. Still got our card there. We ready our actions. We get our cards back if we need. Ready any exhausted cards. We gain a resource. So Agatha's going back up to 1. So is Mick. Mick's going to draw a card. He's going to get another intel report. Very nice. And Agatha's going to get another backpack. All right. Okie dokie. We go to the Mythos phase. We go to 4 of 7. Be nice to draw some... I know it sounds really weird, but it'd be nice to draw some criminals now. We're going to get this card here, which is Obscuring Fog. Attached to your location, limit 1 per action per location, gets +2 shroud. Oh, you little naughty person, you. That goes to a shroud of 5. Okay. That was Mick's. And then Agatha's is End of Negotiations. Attach End of Negotiations to the nearest criminal enemy. Limit 1 per enemy. If you cannot, it gains Surge. There's no criminals in play. So we're going to get Surge. And Agatha's going to get a swarm of rats. We flip over. That Obscuring Fog is a nightmare. So 5 versus 4. 5 versus 5. 5 versus 5. Nothing in hand to play. 5 versus 5. Oh, okay. First of all, going to go with Mick. First action is to engage the swarm of rats. Second action is to punch the swarm of rats. I'm now 6 versus 1. 6 versus 1. Honestly, I'm not making this up. 6 versus 1. +2. So we kill it. And it says you may place one ammo on a firearm asset you control. Now there's nothing, I don't think, that says there's a limit. So I'm going to chuck one onto this one here. Take me up to 5. I think you can do it that way. Apologies if I'm wrong. Comments comment please if I've got that wrong. That was my second action, was to punch the rats. Third action, sort of running at, got nothing on the act yet. I need some criminals. They're not coming out. We could spend, no. Is there somewhere where we could spend? Oh, bugger. Oh, I forgot to do that. My apologies. I should have spawned some criminals here. Oh, sorry. First time playing it. I'll remember that for the future. There's no point doing it now because I've gone beyond it, way beyond it. But I will remember that. I will remember that. So third action from Mick is going to be to gain a resource up to 2. That was his third action, so that's him done. First action from Agatha is to investigate. She is 4, 5 with McGlen. Mick's going to help her out with an intel report, 6, 7. So yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 5. 7 versus 5. That's the best I can do. 7 versus 5. 0. We will seal that 0. We will gain a clue. And we will get rid of obscuring fog. A second action, that goes. A second action is to investigate. She is now 4, 5 versus 3. We're not going to draw a token because we're going to do the ocular. When you would reveal a token from the chaos, resolve the token sealed here instead. So we're going to resolve the 0. So 5 versus 3, we get a clue. That goes back in the bag. Third action, we'll do a straight off investigate, 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3. Five versus 3. That's a 0 because there's no criminals in play. So we get the last clue. Now, remembering Arkham Nightlife. After the last clue is discovered from an Arkham location, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, one at a time. Spawn each criminal enemy discarded that way at the nearest empty location. So the first card is a locked door. The second card is a caught in the crossfire. And the third card is a gang soldier. So where are we going to put gang soldier? Well, we're going to be moving. Let's put him in downtown. Let's put him in downtown. That was her third action. Excellent. Oh, I should have exhausted. I am going to play the sort of taboo version of Milan and exhaust him to gain a resource. I think that's the taboo version. Let me just check. Yeah, I just wanted to double check. It is exhaust him to gain a resource, which is what I've done. So, there, I would have got 3 resources. His non-tabooed version. But there we go. Right. Okay. So there are enemies in play, but he's not a hunter or anything like that. He's not got patrol. He's just going to stay there in downtown. We are going to go to reset our actions. We're going to unexhaust cards. So Milan comes back on stream. We draw gain a resource. So Mick is going to 3. Aggie's going to 3. Mick's going to get a Remington, 1858. Doesn't need that at the moment. And Aggie's going to get, she's going to get her weakness, which is Glimpse the Void. Put it into play in your threat area. The first time one or more chaos tokens, you reveal one or more chaos tokens during each skill test, you may reveal an additional one and resolve its effects. As an action, shuffle that into the deck. Yeah, that's definitely going to be an action. Right, okay. We cycle round to the mythos phase. We're going to put 5 of 7. Five of 7. We're going to flip these over so we know they're ready. Mick's going to get a card. Mick's getting drawn to the darkness. So he's now only 5 cards. Not that that's really making a lot of difference at the moment, but it's still annoying. Doesn't gain surge as well, which is nice. Aggie is going to get gang informant. Comes engaged with her. Oh, aloof. It's aloof. Spawn the nearest Arkham location with clues. Nowhere's got clues on there, so it's a tie at the moment. So I get to decide where it goes. So I'm going to place it in north side, and then it will become engaged with her. Rightio. We move round to the investigators phase. First action, I'm going to go with Aggie first of all. First action with Agatha, and she's going to get rid of Glimpse the Void. But it doesn't go, it gets shuffled back into her deck. We do a cat weasel cut. Oh, no, sorry, should have done that. I'll do it the right way round. That'll be her second action. Her first action is to spend 1 clue to parlay, discard an engaged criminal enemy with X remaining health at your location. Place 1 clue from the token pool on this act. It's got 1 health, so we're going to discard that for our first action. That clue gets put on here. That's good. Second action then is to do the thingy-jiggy. Third action is to move across to downtown, which immediately engages the gang soldier. He's not aloof. And then I will spend 2 clues. It's got 2 remaining health. It's engaged with her. It's a reaction or a lightning action, free action. Discard an engaged criminal enemy with X remaining health at your location. Yeah, X remaining health. So 2 clues, but one of those goes on to the act and that gets discarded. Agatha's turn is done. We flip over downtown. Actually, should have done that. That's got 2 clues per investigator. Wow, this is clue-centric. And it's got victory 1 on it as well. So if we could get those, that would be awesome. Michael. Michael. We didn't seal any clues that time. Unfortunately, pretty good though. She put 2 clues on it. Michael's going to move across for his first action. Second action, draw a card. He's got a Derringer. Could still chuck these, but that at and third action, gain a resource. We can clear this, we can get some more criminals out if we don't draw any. But we are heading towards the agenda. Okay. No enemies in play. We reset our actions. Gain a resource, up to 5 for Mick, up to 4 for Aggie. Mick's going to draw his card. He gets a lucky cigarette case. He's got some money to spend. Aggie's going to crack the case. Excellent. Okay. We go to the mythos phase. We put 6 of 7 on there. Not good. Mick's going to draw a card. He's getting dissonant voices. We can't play assets or events. Oh, that's annoying. He can't play his lucky case. Aggie is going to get, come on, be a criminal. Be a criminal. Rotting remains. Will 3. Take 1 horror. Well, we've got spectral shield in place. So I might as well do that. 3 versus 4. Remembering a cool ocular. 3 versus 4. I'm not really fussed about whether I pass it or not. I've got nothing that I can chuck into it. I'm not chucking the lucky cigarette case into it. 3 versus 4. Ooh, there she is. There she is. 3 versus 4. I fail. So I take 1 horror. I should put that on Spectral Shield. When attached card takes 1 or more damage or horror, cancel 1 of that damage or horror. The owner of Spectral Shield must remove 1 charge from an asset they control. I can't. If they can't, they discard the shield. So the shield is gone. And that's it. Background to the investigator's phase. Fours, you say. Fives with McGlen. Six with crack the case. Six with crack the case. Would have been nice to have got some enemies there. Okay, first action for Agatha is to investigate. We'll play crack the case. 4, 5, 6 versus 4. We'll take it. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. -4. We fail. We're not going to seal that. I think we have to. Is it? After you succeed, no, it's a reaction. After you succeed at a skill test, if no tokens are sealed here, seal a non-symbol token revealed during this skill test on Ocula Obscura. Just had a very, very quick check, and I don't have to do that, so the -4 goes back in the bag. So that was her first action. That crack the case has gone, unfortunately. And so we're going to be going at 5 versus 4, which is not great. Well, first of all, second action, I'm going to play backpack 2 for 2. After it enters play, search the top 6 cards of your deck for item or supply cards. Top 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Item or supply. Oh, okay. We've got an emergency cash. Shuffle your deck. So those go back there like that. And then we shuffle. So we've got an emergency cash under there. I'll put backpack down here. Third action, I think I'm just going to draw a card. Shortcut. Not brilliant. Oh, that's not good. Okay, Michael. I think Agatha's okay at the minute because she's got 4 clues that she could discard. Any enemies coming to her, she could just parlay with them to get rid of them. So I think she's good. Michael's going to just go off on his own now, I think, for a bit. First action for Michael is he's going to move across to East Town because these two are not connected. So Shroud of two clues in it. No victory there. Shroud of two. I think can't play assets. Got 5 resources. Second action, he's going to move down to Rivertown. Shroud of 1. 1 or 2 clues on it. So those aren't worth any victory points. This one here's the only one left with any victory points on it. They might as well go 1 versus 1, mightn't they, for his third action. Yeah, why not? Third action, 1 versus 1. Oh, -2. And we draw another token. Oh, -3 if you fail. Oh, okay. Right, so first of all, that token goes. That's discarded. That goes back in. And it's -3, we failed. Discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Choose 1 criminal enemy discarded by that effect and spawn it engaged with you. Okay, so top 3, we're going to get a Rotting Remains. We're going to get a Obscuring Fog. And we're going to get a Drawn to Darkness. So no criminals. Ugh. That's annoying. Right, okay. So no criminals in play at the end of the round. We've still got cards in hand for Drawn to Darkness. We're going to get our actions back. We're going to get a resource 6 and 3. Draw a card. Mick is going to get another crack shot. Aggie is going to get a perception. That's it. We go 7 on the nightlife. So those come off, I think. We'll see in a minute. We'll flip it over. Wrong neighbourhood. Moving quickly down the avenue to your next destination, you see a suspicious looking woman in a long coat step from a nearby alley. You turn down a side street to avoid her and nearly run into a man with a wicked scar running down his right cheek. He takes a drag from his cigarette, tosses it to the sidewalk and glowers at you. You step back only to bump into the woman you saw before. She smiles. Where are you going, pal? We just want to talk. Spawn 1 set aside gang enforcer enemy engaged with you with the investigator with the most clues. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Gang enforcer with the most clues is engaged with Aggie, and then we shuffle the discard pile. Oh, where did I put that underneath? Where did I just put that? Oh, God. What have I done with it? Did I just put it in here? I'm going mad. What did I just do with the agenda? I'm going mad. Right, so we're now on agenda 2A, which is another, it's called a long night. Your every step is dogged by the Sheldons and O'Banions. It seems like the two warring gangs have put aside their beef to end your investigations. As a reaction, after the last clue is discovered from an Arkham location, discard the top 3 of the cards of the encounter deck, one at a time. Spawn each criminal enemy discarded this way at the nearest empty location. I need to remember that. As a reaction to being engaged with the gang enforcer, Aggie is going to discard 3 clues. That's the 3 remaining health from the gang enforcer to get rid of it. Placing a clue onto questioning the gangs. Okay. Dissonant Voices goes. Actually, that should be in the discard pile because that went at the end of the turn. So that should have been there. Shuffle. Obligatory cat weasel cut. And then we draw a card. Mick's going to get his card. He is going to get a gang informant. 1 health, 1 evade, 1 health, 1 fight, 3 evade. Comes engaged for him. And Aggie is going to get Tortured Visions. Test will 3. This test gets +2 difficulty if you have 3 or fewer hands in your card. Oh, I've got 3. Okay. If you fail, take 1 direct horror and discard 1 card at random. Okay, I can sort of live with that. I'm not going to chuck anything in against it. So it would be 5 versus 4. 5 versus 4. Five versus 4. Elder sign. So we take 1 direct horror, so we're down to 7. And we discard 1 card at random from our hand. Ah, there goes our perception. Annoying. Would have rather have got rid of the backpack. There we go. Right. Mythos phase. Investigator phase. Michael is going to discard this clue to get rid of this gang informant with 1 health. Putting the 4th clue on here, and it's at the end of the round. We're going to advance. do I want to sort of be with Agatha? That's victory 1. 4 clues on it. 4 clues on it. She hasn't really got 5 versus 4 at the moment. Let's start off with Agatha. Going to move for 1. I don't know if we're going to need any more clues. I'm sure we will. So she's going to move to East Town. Second action, she's going to investigate East Town. 2 versus 5. I think I can take that. 2 versus 5. Second action, investigate. 2 versus 5. -3. We'll seal that because that is a clue. And for her third action, she's going to do exactly the same thing, investigate, but she's going to use this token instead. 2 versus 5. We're going to get the second clue. And at the end of her turn, we can play a spell or invite because we have sealed a token this turn. What's she going to play? I think she's going to play a spectral shield for 1. That will be removed. Oh no, I think actually that should have been removed because I think, no, that should have been removed. That should have been removed because I think I played it. So what's she got? She's got to crack the case. Can't play that. Can't play that. She hasn't really got anything she can play. So she's going to leave it. The choices I've got, just for the viewers out there, I've got crack the case, which is fast. Play after an investigator discovers the last remaining clue at your location. Investigators at that location gain a total of X resources distributed as you wish. X is the shroud value. She has got the last clue. Well, she might as well play that. She discovered the last clue. So she's going to get 2 resources. That's removed from the game. So that takes her up to 4 resources. She might as well. Still can't get rid of Drawn to Darkness. But we're okay. Actually, before she ends her turn, doesn't cost an action. She's going to play Shortcut. During her turn, choose an investigator at our location. She's going to move down to be with Michael. Down to one card. Can we get rid of Drawn to Darkness? Right. Michael, what are you doing, Michael? Well, first things first. First action. Pay 2, so he's down to 4. Play the lucky cigarette case. Got Crackshot, Derringer, Remington. Second action is going to be draw a card. He's got to watch this. I've got 5 cards now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no point drawing another card because I can't. Third action, draw a card, gain a resource, back up to 5. No enemies in play. We reset our actions. Gain a resource. 5 for Aggie, 6 for Mick. Mick draws a card. He gets Where's the Party? Aggie gets another mouse mask. We can play that this turn. Excellent. Hand size of 5, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have to discard. I think I'm going to get rid of the Remington. At the end of the round, we're going to spend our 4 clues. To advance the act, finally. Oh, okay. Right. Hibbs Roadhouse. East Town is connected to Hibbs Roadhouse. Put Hibbs Roadhouse into play, spawn the set-aside Sadie Sheldon enemy at Hibbs Roadhouse. Add the set-aside Act 2A, the Sheldon Gang, and the Act 3, Face the Music. Victory point 1. All right. Okay, let's just chivvy things along a bit. All right, so Hibbs Roadhouse is in play. 4 clues and it's Shroud of 3. Victory 1. Sadie Sheldon is 2 fight, 4 health, 3 evade. Got retaliate, hitting back for 2 damage. Sadie Sheldon cannot move and gets +1 health point, so 6 health on Sadie. Sadie gets +1 fight for each damage on her to a maximum of +3 fight. Okay, and then we've got Act 2, the Sheldon Gang. The Sheldons wound up with a shipment. It's up to you to either talk to Sadie into a deal or convince her it's not worth the trouble. Sadie Sheldon gains action. Spend up to 4 resources. Parlay, test, will or fight 5. This test gets -1 difficulty for each resource spent as part of this action's cost. For each point you succeed by, place one of your clues on Sadie Sheldon. Okay. When damage is placed on Sadie Sheldon, advance. If there are 3 clues on Sadie Sheldon, advance. Okay. Victory 1 though. Victory 1. Right, okay, we put a Doom on the agenda. These two are back up and running. We're going to draw a card for Mick. And we're going to get a gang soldier. And for Agatha, we're going to get a locked door. Attached to the location with the most clues without a locked door attached to it. 4 and 4. Definitely not putting it on there. So locked door will go onto here. We're all good. Right, now to the investigators phase. Now, do we want to kill Sadie or do we want to talk to him? Huh? Difficult to tell. Sadie. I think Mick could kill her. 6 health. +1 damage from these attacks. So 3 attacks from these. We've got 2 crack shots in hand. He's obviously not going to do it this turn because he's got to deal with the gang soldier. Or we could go in and parlay. This test gets -1 difficulty for each resource spent. So we could spend and go 4, 5, 5 versus 0. Five versus 0. We could spend 5 resources. What I'm thinking here is Agatha could move. She would then become engaged with Sadie because he is not, they have not got, is that a fella or, I'm going to say it's a guy. So he would engage with Agatha for her last action. She could spend 4 resources, so taking it down to 4 versus 1. We could spend that to make it 5 versus 1. And hopefully we win by enough to put, for each point you succeed by, place one of your clues on Sadie Sheldon. And then advance it. Do I risk it? 5 versus 1. I could do have had the Aquila up and running. I know what I'd be pulling. 5 versus 1. She's going to take 2 damage. She's going to take 2. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. So Agatha is going to move to East Town, move to Hibbs Roadhouse, which is her first 2 actions. She engages with Sadie Sheldon. And then for her last action, she's going to parlay. She's going to spend 4 resources. That takes her down to 1. So that goes, and she's doing it on a will, not a fight. So will of 4. Will of 4. She's going to chuck in the mouse mask to make it 5. 5 versus 1. And at every point we succeed by, we can put a clue on. 5 versus 1. 5 versus 1. -1. 4 versus 1. That is going to go onto her cooler. 4 versus 1. We succeed by 3. We're going to put 3 clues onto Sadie Sheldon. Objective: if there are 4 clues on Sadie Sheldon, advance. It says, your negotiations are cut short as Naomi O'Banion strides into the Hibbs Roadhouse, accompanied by a pair of mobsters. That shipment is mine, Sadie, she says coldly. You duck down as her goons pull out their rifles and spray the walls and furniture with a spray of bullets. Spawn the set aside Naomi O'Banion and gang enforcer enemies at Hibbs Roadhouse. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Gang Soldier and spawn it at Hibbs Roadhouse. If there is at least 1 clue on Sadie Sheldon, place 2 damage on Naomi O'Brien. Move up to 2 clues from Sadie Sheldon to any non-elite enemy criminal at Hibbs Roadhouse. Each enemy with clues on it disengages from each investigator and gains aloof. Right, lot here to do. So, Naomi and gang enforcers. We had to pull a gang enforcer out though, didn't we? Sure we did. So there's only 2. If there is at least 1 clue on Sadie Sheldon, place 2 damage on Naomi Banyan. So she's got 2 damage on her. And move up to 2 clues from Sadie Sheldon to any non-elite criminal enemies at route. So it's only just the 1 gang enforcer. So this one is going to just be aloof. So we move 1 off of Sadie. So that's not really caring at the moment. Oh, Agatha, what have you done? What have you done? Each enemy with clues on it disengages from each investigator and gains aloof. There we go, that's it. And then we go to the last one, which is face the music. You found yourself squarely in the centre of a gang war. Each criminal enemy with clues on it gains aloof. Well, Sadie Sheldon is going to gain aloof as well then. So Sadie's going to go here. Not really caring about us. Remove one clue from a criminal enemy at your location. Parlay. That enemy deals its damage to another enemy at your location. When the round ends, if there is at least one elite enemy in the victory display, advance. But that's it for Agatha. She's done. She's caused a whole load of mayhem. That's 2A. That's gone. We're on 3A. 1A, 2A. But at the end of her turn, she has sealed something here. So what can she do? Would have been nice to have guidance. Choose another investigator at your location. Urgh. Can't do it. I can't do it. Shortcut. Oh. Do I shortcut out of there and take the 2 hits? One to kill that, 2 to go in there. 3 to engage. Yeah. I think that's what I do. So at the end of her turn, I'm going to play an insight event, which is shortcut. Going to remove that from the game. Choose an investigator at your location. Move that investigator to a connecting location. So Agatha's going to come out to East Town. But she will take 2. She will take 2. I'm putting 1 on Milan and taking 1. I don't need resources at this point, I don't think. Milan, sorry, buddy. You're out of here. You're out of here. Michael, you're up, sir. You are up. We're going to fight the gang soldier. We're going to hit him with an automatic. +2. So we're now at 7. 7 against 2. Doing +1 damage. 7 against 2, +1 damage. Skull, which is criminal enemies. 1, 2, 3, 4 to a maximum of 4. So 7 versus 2 minus 4. We still win. 3 versus 2. We deal +1 damage, killing the gang soldier. That was his first action. Second action is to move into East Town. Third action is to yoink Naomi O'Banion off of Agatha and engage Naomi. Done. These two are aloof. Sadie's going to stay there. The gang enforcer, although he's got aloof, has also got hunter. So the gang enforcer is going to wander over to East Town, but still remain aloof. Naomi's going to smack Michael. For 2. Michael's going to take 1, so he's down to 8. 1 is going to go on to Robert. And then we're done. We are going to ready our actions. Gain a resource. Draw a card. Mickey's going to get his finally gets his Viola case. Aggie's going to get magnifying glass. We go to the top of the round. We're going to put 1 onto Long Night. Mick is going to draw a card and he's going to get a Rotting Remains. Willpower 3. He'll just take that. 3 versus 3. Oh, does he? It's horror. And we've got 1 on, we've got 2 on Robert. We'll put a watch this in. Not going to put anything on it to make it a 4 versus 3. A 4 versus 3. Four versus 3. -2. -4. And if there is a criminal enemy at your location, there is. So I fail by 3. So I'll take 3 horror. So I'm going to be down to 2 horror. 1, 2, 3. Aggie's cards. Swarm of rats. Okay. Right. Michael's going to go first. First action is to fight with his automatic. +2 fight and +1 damage for the attack. So 5, 6, 7, 8 with Robert. -3, -4 is the maximum. And she's 3. 8 versus 3 is 5 in the lead. So I can't fail with any of these. Eight versus 3. Let's chuck the viola case in just to make it 10 versus 3. 10 versus 3. 10 versus 3, -1. We do 2 damage to her, so she's up to 4. Second action, fight with the 25 automatic. This time we're going to put a crack shot in. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. 11 versus 3. 11 versus 3. Skull, which is -4. So we win, or we win that. So that's another 2 damage. So that's the 6 damage we needed for Naomi. She gets +1 health per investigation. She comes in with 4. So she's in the victory display. A remaining action. Oh, I should have exhausted Lucky Cigarette Case. I would imagine Lucky Cigarette Case has been tabooed as well, because I've succeeded by 2 or more. Draw a card. Liquid Courage. That's handy. That's very handy, actually. So for my third action, I will spend 1 to play Liquid Courage. Comes in with 4 supplies on it. And we can spend an action to heal some horror. Excellent. So that is Michael done. Agatha, for her first action, is going to fight the swarm of rats. She's fight 1. They're fight 1. Michael is going to help her out with a derringer to take her to fight 2. She will use this -1 to do 1 damage, or it's a draw, 1. So she kills the swarm of rats. That goes back in to there. Second action, she'll spend 0 and use her emergency gash to gain 3 resources, taking her to 5. She'll then play 1 as a fast action to play magnifying glass. And then she'll pay 2 for her last action, down to 2, to play another backpack. That goes out. Top 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking for item cards. We've got a tooth. That's it. Or supply. I don't think that comes into play. So the tooth of Etzel is played underneath the backpack. These get shuffled back in to her deck. That was her third action. We go to the enemy phase. This gang enforcer is still aloof. And Stady Sheldon is still aloof. And he's staying there anyway. He's not got a mover. And then that's moved. We go to the investigation phase. We reset our actions. We ready up. Drawn to Darkness goes, because I've got no cards in my hand. Still got cards over here though. We draw a card. Promise of Power. Yeah, when your turn ends, if there are no cards in your hand. And we draw a card here. We're going to get Joey the Rat. And gain a resource. 3, 7. Checks our hand size. 1, 3. End of the round. There's one elite enemy in the victory display. Naomi. We advance. As the conflict erupts into outright bloodshed, you locate a small crate labelled Tillinghast Endeavours in a back room. Keeping low to the ground, you scamper through the fight and back out into the cold evening air. The sound of shattering glass and heavy blows emanates from the building behind you. "Ah, applesauce," says a voice above you. A compact figure clad in black slides down a rappelling line and removes their mask. "I had a whole heist planned, you know." "An informant. A calling card even," Ruby says, tossing a yellow rose onto the pavement. "I didn't think you could just walk in and ask politely, but, well, I guess you won fair and square." Resolution 1, page 5. Okay. Resolution 1, page 5. Resolution 1. You return to the Tillinghast Astoria with both the shipman and Ruby Standish. The jewel thief sulkily admits you beat her little wager and promises you a drink afterward, with no mention of the double or nothing she promised. A silver bell rings as you step into the familiar, musty curio shop. Within moments, Randall has the box open on his desk. Inside it is a small jade green idol wrapped in cloth. "I could not be more impressed," Tillinghast says. His eyes glitter as he appraises the green figurine. As you look at the idol, your head swims. Ruby paces the foyer of the shop nervously and addresses your employer sharply. "All right, Tillinghast, we're held up our end of the bargain. Where's our cut?" The shop door rings again as Andy returns. Randall seats himself behind his desk and peers at you and the others over steepled fingers. "My suspicions have been confirmed. The relic is genuine. Well done. What if I told you I had an offer too good to refuse?" In your campaign log, record Ruby lost the bet. Okay. Ruby lost the bet. Each investigator gains experience equal to Victory X value of each card in the victory display. So we have got 1, 2, 3. I think 3's it. 3 experience. Oh, never mind. Could have been 4. 4. Well, no. I think you either have to kill one of these two. So 3 victory points. So we've got 3. We'll just put 3 in there so we know. Each investigator, if investigators discover the language, an alien language, you discover this glyph, which is it's like a vertical line with 2 crosses between it. In your in your campaign record depths under that glyph. Okay. Oh, I printed a few off. Let me just get one on one. Ugh. Oh, here you go. So these are the glyphs here. That's the first glyph there, and I've got to record depth under that. This glyph has been translated. Proceed to interlude 1, an offer you can't refuse. Okay. An offer you can't refuse, interlude 1. What you have recovered is no mere curio. It was brought at great expense from a dealer in Egypt, who inherited it from a relative who bought it in Peking. You know how it goes. Randall smirks as you admire the ancient artifact, its vaguely humanoid figure sitting in a stooped position with a heavy octopoid head and squid-like features. You know, who could that be? There is something malevolent in its expression, something unwholesome in the very way it was sculpted. You find it difficult to look away. If your investigator has the agency, detective or criminal trait, yes, we do. Randall's operatic tale of the artifact's acquisition seems needlessly contrived. You have every reason to believe the ancient statue was obtained through less legitimate means. Sadly, this tells you nothing of the relic's true origins. This is a singular relic of the prehistory, dare I say pre-human origins. Randall's voice breaks the spell. The rest of the eccentric antiquarian's story boggles your mind. He describes a record of some ancient cosmic struggle and how he believes that all of Earth is on the cusp of an apocalypse, much like the one that destroyed the statue's creator. In all of human history, in every separate mythology, there exists the story of a great flood, a cataclysm. There are legends of a great city-state, a bastion of knowledge and might that sank between the waves. Humankind have named it many things: Atlantis, Mu, Lemura, but its true name, a name that predates history, Rylea. Through much painstaking research and the assistance of a mad sailor named Gustav, I have pinpointed the relative coordinates of the ancient city. A stretch of ocean in the South Pacific where many sailing vessels have shipwrecked or disappeared with no explanation. Which brings me to my offer. I need someone bold and resourceful to lead an expedition to the ancient city, someone to bring back evidence of its ancient knowledge, study its secrets, record its wonders. I need the person to be you, Randall says, looking at you, then to Ruby and Andy. Should you accept, I shall absolve you of any remaining debt and provide you enough money to retire comfortably, very comfortably, and of course lend my assistance for your other concerns. Your mind wanders back to those other concerns. In player order, each investigator must choose a different task from the following options on pages 7, 8 and 9 and read its text. Once each investigator has chosen a task and read its corresponding entry, proceed to interlude 2. Tasks in the Drowned City campaign. Each investigator must select a different task to complete over the course of the Drowned City campaign. Tasks represent the investigator's obligations and their reasons for becoming involved with Tillinghast and his shady dealings. Each investigator must choose a different task. Each task is recommended for a specific kind of investigator. However, an investigator may choose any task even if it's not recommended. It's up to you to justify how your investigator got into this mess in the first place. Each task corresponds to a double-sided task card which can be found in the tasks encounter set, indicated by the following encounter set icon. Investigators should attempt to complete objectives on their task card once per scenario over the course of a campaign. Each investigator will be prompted to resolve story text during setup and/or resolution of a scenario. Be aware that some outcomes may impact setup. When instructed to mark or erase one or more progress in your campaign log, check and uncheck that many boxes in your task. Completing task objectives will earn experience and/or rewards later in the campaign. The more times an investigator completes their task, the better. For a more positive outcome, do not ignore your tasks. Right, I'm going to have a quick look. Okay, right, I've chosen my tasks. I've gone with the recommended for Rogue and for Seeker. So the one for Rogue, for Michael, is called Good Money. And it's recommended for Rogue or those with civic, criminal, entrepreneur or socialite investigators. It says, over the years you've had plenty to do. You've had to do plenty of things. Things you never admit in polite society. Things that could get you into deep trouble. But that's all over now. This is your chance for a fresh start. Tillinghast promised you years ago when he paid off your old debt. The Antiquarian has always treated you well since. With what Tillinghast is promising you, you should be able to live a life on your own terms. So as long as you can survive and yet another cockanamie errand, it better be worth it. In your campaign log, record Good Money. That's what I've done down here. And it says search the tasks encounter set for the Good Money permanent story asset and add it to your deck for the remainder of the campaign. I'll do that in a bit. And then we've got Plumb the Debts for Agatha, recommended for Seeker, Agency, Clairvoyant, Detective, Miskatonic, Scholar or Reporter investigators. It says you never meant to get involved with Randall or the mob or any of this. In fact, you cursed the line of inquiry that led you out past the edges of your safe old life and into this new one. But you can never suppress the inexplicable itch to understand the world around you. Although you've been warned time and time again that your curiosity would be the end of you, you can't deny the allure of the unknown. Randall has promised you all of that and more. This job will make your career, put you on the map, and if you could just play your cards right. So again, we record Plumb the Debts, we should have done, and then we've got to get the permanent story asset, and we'll get that for Agatha as well. Right, so it says, Interlude 2. You narrow your eyes at Randall. There's something he's not telling you, some catch, but there's always a catch with Tillinghast, just as there's always one more job to be done. You ask him what it is and he sighs. I thought it was obvious, but this expedition is likely to be rather perilous, which is why I thought I'd entrust it to you. You've proven yourself to be quite resourceful, and as I said, I intend to reward you handsomely. The investigators must decide we refuse or we go to Interlude 4. Well, we're going to go to Interlude 4 because we're going to take the offer. Why wouldn't we want to go on a ship in an expedition? Interlude 4. Whatever his reasons for burying the lady, the offer is too tempting to refuse. Ruby and Andy nod along with you in agreement. Tillinghast's face breaks into a familiar smirk. How lovely. I'd hoped you would say yes. Truly, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I assure you this will change everything. After Andy negotiates for a comprehensive supply of film and Ruby ups her commission, Tillinghast outlines the plan for the expedition. Tomorrow, a train will take you to San Francisco, where the Cassandra will sail down to the provided coordinates in the South Pacific. There is an excited, almost childlike glee as the antiquarian outlines the details. I've sent supplies enough to last the entire expedition several months if needed. That said, be prepared for anything. Proceed to Interlude 2, Expedition to Rylea. Right, I'm gonna park it there. I'll turn the page so I know where I am, and we'll call that episode 1. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really enjoyed these decks. First time out, first time I've actually played with them. Absolutely. I mean, Michael just seems a bit, you know, he's fun, and Agatha's fun as well. But I really enjoyed that. Hope you did too. Episode 1 in the bag of the Drowned City, and let's see what could go wrong on an expedition to the South Pacific. Looking for an ancient city, Atlantis, Lemur, Rylea. Who knows? But make sure you catch me on the second scenario. That'll be coming hopefully next week. Anyway, take care. Cheers. Ta-ra for now.